Man, okay, $170,000, not enough in California. Plus, what to expect with Donald Trump as your president now, and what I'm gonna do about it. So originally, I was gonna make this cool video about like all the changes exactly that he's doing, but I figured it's gonna be too complicated and really boring if I did that. If I talk about like tax cut acts, tariffs, borders. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like something that people on my channel would watch. Maybe it is. If it is, let me know. I don't know. Put it in the comments and tell me like, hey Jeff, talk about that stuff. But I don't know if I'm the best person to talk about. There's way better people to listen to. But yeah, $170,000. It's still really hard to live off that in San Diego, California. You guys have probably seen it before. I've talked about like the gas prices in San Diego. They're like $4.50 to $5, and I will sometimes wait in like a 30-minute line at Costco to make sure I get $4.20 gas. Or I'll use this app called Get Upside that actually helps you find the cheapest, most affordable gas stations, and it gives you some cash back, which is kind of cool. Food pretty much doubled now. Instead of paying like I don't know, $4 for an In-N-Out burger, it's like $7 now. If you eat out anywhere at any like Italian restaurant, if you're in San Diego at like Little Italy, expect a plate of pasta probably cost you like $27 to like $35 on average. Like it's pretty normal. So, like if you find something more affordable, congratulations, keep on eating there. You've hit the jackpot. And yeah, I think the people there are struggling. Even the ones who made a lot of money, like I did, when I was a pharmacy manager. Like at my peak, I was making around 170. Nowadays, I don't work full time at a pharmacy. I work about once a month or so, and it's mainly just to stay in touch with my coworkers and kind of keep my skills in pharmacy. But even after my best years, I was taking maybe like 99 or less thousand after like Medicare, Social Security, taxes, 401k. It was probably a little bit less than 99, to be honest, because I would match the 6%, because if anyone ever gets the match, like is offered a match at their job, 6%, 100% match on whatever amount they give you. Make sure you take it, because it's pretty much free money. It's hard to beat that return almost anywhere. You could do it in rural real estate, like Airbnbs, like I do, but I'm not going to talk about that today. I just want to let you know it's a possibility. If you guys want to see how I actually set up those videos, it's super boring, but I'm gonna leave a description, because there have been some people who just randomly message me like, "Hey, how do you do this too?" And just a heads up, I was just awake like 5 hours ago, so it can be hard. It's not super passive all the time, but it is passive afterwards, and I do think it's worth it, because your life really changes at a certain net worth. And that's what I'm shooting towards, to get real fast, so I can focus on things that really matter, like my family, friends, and spending time with them. You know, the typical stuff, nothing crazy. It's not like I want to buy like a Bugatti, because I don't even know how to spell that. But yeah, $170,000 not enough. And if people are expecting like the elections to make a big difference, like with Trump and stuff, just a heads up, it does affect us, and it's really important. Like whatever he stands for and the policies that he makes, but it's not going to be the thing that directly changes your life. At the end of the day, it's kind of up to you to make the decisions that are going to matter most in your life. So yeah, he might make some tax cut acts that will cut my tax bill by $10,000 if I made $170,000. Or yeah, he might end up like making jobs more easily findable for people or something. But at the end of the day, like, there's only one of you, and the biggest thing that's going to affect your scale, like, or like how much you're going to make, is actually your decisions specifically. So yeah, he might save you $10,000, but say there are people out there making $1 million per year. Knowing that, you technically have the ability to do so. So whatever, if you don't believe that one person is better than the other, which I honestly don't believe that. I don't believe that one human being is better than the other. So in in that case, I feel like anyone could do what anyone else can do. Like, you can technically be an Elon Musk if you really wanted to. I know that's an extreme, but if you really wanted to, you could. And to say that you can't, it just means you don't want it enough. Like, even when you say like, oh, I'm a shy person, I can't go out to a party or something like that. Honestly, you'd rather stay inside and you'd rather be shy. Like, the pain of you getting what you want is not as strong as the pain of you wanting to be shy. Is how I like to think about things. I don't know if that's wrong. Again, I think it's a good way to think of things in life. It's like, oh, if you say you want $1,000,000, but then you don't go out and do the work for it, you didn't really want $1,000,000. You want to stay home over, or not change anything more than you actually want that $1,000,000, which is okay. There's a certain point in life where like it's not the push isn't worth the shove, and the nail isn't sharp enough for you to move from it. Because everything, no matter where you move, like there's always gonna be headaches with what you do. I just think some headaches are worth it. So yeah, I think Trump and stuff are gonna do all these cool things. So congrats to him, but I don't know if like it's gonna be what everyone should be focusing on. And in general too, like if you're struggling, your backyard is on fire. No use trying to go like dump your little tiny bucket on the world. Your bucket of water, like go clean up your own backyard first. Take care of your community, your friends, the people you can directly impact sufficiently, versus like letting them burn and then putting your attention somewhere else. Yeah, and if you do so, I think you can relieve like the suffering that you may have. And for me, again, it was just like knowing that, yeah, I made $170,000, less than $100,000 afterwards. If I want kids, it's gonna be like another $20,000 per child. If I want to buy a new car, or if something happens to my car, it's gonna be more expensive, or that's gonna eat up into my salary. And then if I wanted to buy a house, like some people want to buy a house, that's considered the American dream. You know, in San Diego, the average cost for a home is around $1.1 million for a respectable 4-bedroom, 2-bath. Like nothing crazy. It looks really old, but at least it's renovated, clean. Yeah, they're around $1.2 million, which means like your mortgage for those homes, if you put like 3.5% down as a first-time home buyer, it's gonna be like $7,000 probably, with like just to like pay off your mortgage. And rent there's freaking crazy too. I was looking at a 1-bedroom, 1-bath studio that looks horrible. It's like 150 square feet. They're renting it for $1,600, and that was like the cheapest thing I found on Zillow. And yeah, it's just so freaking expensive now. Like there's no way that $100,000 or less is gonna cut it, unless you're just house hacking, you're living with roommates, you're being frugal, you're really conscious of what you spend on. And honestly, that's cool that you can do that. And I used to do that too when I was like from my 18 to like 26-year-old age, because I was really just trying to maximize everything I could, because I didn't see another way out. I was like, okay, well, I need to invest more, so I need to save more than I actually spend. So I would scrimp on everything. And I think my first year of working as a pharmacist, again, who makes pretty decent money, I saved like almost $60,000 to $75,000, and I put those on two homes. And I was like, man, now all my money's gone. I gotta go save again for another like year, which was really hard. I moved back to my parents, lived out on my car part time, ate peanut butter and jellies at Walmart, and that's how I got the job done. It's like that's how you eventually like save more than you spend. And then as I was doing all that stuff, I was just kind of doing as much research as I can about real estate. Tried a bunch of different like investments, like stocks, flipping bikes, day trading, crypto. Lost a lot of money, but through like the test of time and like looking at historical data, real estate has always like made sense to me, just because like people always need a place to live. The population is growing in the United States, thankfully. and they're not building houses at a good enough rate. So eventually all these millennials and Gen Z boomers, we're going to have kids too. Although it seems like not a lot of us are not wanting kids because they're too dang expensive. At least that's my theory. And we're waiting to have kids a little bit longer. They're going to need homes too. And yeah, it's just going to make a bigger problem. So as long as you're in real estate, I personally believe it's really good. And for the past 100 years, just like how you track index funds, a lot of people say like, oh yeah, index funds always appreciate by 10% every single year on an average annual basis. Well, if you track the real estate market, it's the same exact way. It's just by a little bit less, which is 4%. But what makes real estate so much better than stocks for wealth building is that you can leverage. So imagine you want to make 10% on $100,000 worth of stocks. Well, let's change that up because to make it more realistic or compare it to real estate. Say you want to make 10% appreciation on $1 million worth of stock. That's really good. You're going to make $100,000 every single year on an average annual basis. But if you are in real estate and you don't have that same $1 million in pocket in hand right now, you can actually borrow it. So say you're a doctor like I am, or or an actual like MD or DO. I have my doctorate to make it more clear. But if you have your MD, DO, a lot of banks or programs, they'll offer like 0% interest loans. Or if you're a VA or a veteran, thanks for your service. Yeah, they'll give you 0% interest loans. So say you do make enough now afterwards, if you can get pre-qualified for $1 million, which is also another thing you got to figure out, just a heads up. You get 4% appreciation on $1 million, which is $40,000 every single year, without actually having to save years to own $1 million. And that's the power of like real estate. And in the meantime, like what's even cool is like, yeah, eventually you could technically move out of the house and you can rent it out. You make money from taxes, tax savings, appreciation, principal pay down. So those loans that you have are 30-year loans. Plus you get rent. And you can have your rent to pay off your mortgage. And then Dave Ramsey, I love him. And he's like, oh yeah, if you think like your place will always be rented, which is true, but there's vacancies. Vacancies always happen, which is why you need to account for into your expenses. But he says like, oh yeah, what if like you don't like it could be dumb, even though he loves rental real estate, like to go into debt to buy real estate. But from my parents' experience of like being in real estate for like 30 years, there's never been like a long-term problem actually having trouble finding tenants, even in commercial buildings. Like yeah, it could take like a year or so. So you just have to have something called reserves, save some money. Oh god, I need to get away from this topic of real estate 1 second. Because no one came for this. Again, link in the bottom of it if you want to see how I real estate and like why I like it so much. But yeah, I'm in Florida right now. Pretty beautiful. $170K on up, and I was just like thinking about like, oh, what if you brought that like $170,000 income over here, and what could you do with it? And it's pretty awesome because you basically like give yourself a huge pay like raise. Like Florida has no state income taxes. People here look like they're living large on the same thing that I was making back in San Diego, where people say it was a lot. Like the houses here are about half the price. Weather is great right now. I don't know how it is going to be during summer. From what I remember when I was a kid, hurricane season was freaking miserable, and I don't think it was good during summer. But then I was like trying to think about it. I was like, oh yeah, that's why I'm in California. But I was just thinking about it too. I was like, unless I live at the beach in California, which I actually try to do. I'm lucky enough to be in that position where I can decide that. And again, from like saving and a little bit of hard work, and just planning and making sure that people know I only want to live close to the ocean. But if you're not, like everyone else in Southern California, stays in their house during summertime, it's too freaking hot. You're gonna melt. So you would do the same. You would probably do almost like the exact same thing as a Floridian would during the summertime, which is just stay inside. Or if it's like too hot, you go to the beach because there's beaches all over the place. Biggest downside is maybe there's hurricanes and typhoons quite often. California, biggest issue is like there's earthquakes and it's too dang expensive. It's like 4 times the price for homes. And that's probably why it's like one of the most migrated 2 states at the moment. Your money goes very far here. Your gas goes far. People have a great quality of life. They can actually plan to have kids. Um, and if you want to start a business here, you should. It's very favorable, more than it is over there. Um, and I think it's just harder to operate in general. And again, I'm a more of like so encouraging of business and real estate, because real estate at the end of the day is just pretty much a small business. You become a small business owner, and that's what my parents were, and that's where they made their wealth. But you could do the same thing, and then for some people, they get burnt out of whatever work they're doing, or they get bored, or it becomes like unfulfilling or monotonous. And real estate, it just gives you the option to kind of be like, hey, I need to do some sort of work, like I need some passive income. But I also want like some active income too, just like how whenever I worked at my regular job, it gave me some money. So if you want to go flip a home, like 5 homes a year, and replace your $170,000 income, go for it. I don't think it's the best way because you get taxed like crazy. And it's basically just like putting yourself into another job. Like even though like I'm here right now, I'm tired. I like to buy and hold my real estate, and I do the work up front. That's hard, but then I refinance and I keep my homes for that appreciation, the principal pay down, and the rents and the tax write-offs, which end up being way better than actually flipping. And if you could just refinance, that's almost exactly the same. Once you have a little bit more money, or if you learn how to raise money, then that's not even a problem, to be honest. The biggest issue is like why people go into flipping is because they don't want to learn how to ask for money, or the act of just like turning over homes seems much easier than trying to raise money for a bird deal. And yeah, overall, I think it is technically easier for most new people to do. But right now, I think it's pretty easy to like go buy a value add deal, make it really nice, renovate like you would as if it were a flip. So buy the 10% ARV, furnish it, turn to an Airbnb, design it, make $100,000 on rent, and then do a cash out refinance. Hopefully, after adding like $100,000, $200,000 worth of value, and then not having to pay all the fees to sell and stuff. I mean, there's loan costs and stuff, but from what I calculate out, taxes and like all the loan fees for flipping homes is just freaking insane. So why not just pay like a little bit of a loan fee, hold the home, and actually cash flow a little bit? Ah, God, why am I on this topic again? Okay, bye.